There you go. That's your take. All right, here's one from Zach. This one is just completely out there. When Luka's career is all said and done, he'll be a top 5 player in NBA history.
Wow. Well, if he's top 5, it means he's over LeBron. So that's just kidding, guys. Calm down.
That would be an F on your part. That's take. Top 5. That means he's in there with Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, like Kobe,
Wilt, Russell. I don't know Kobe in top 5, but man, that's tough. It's just so hard. Like, I think he'll have all the stats. I think he'll have all of that. It's just so hard to predict title stuff because so much is just determined on your supporting cast. And it's like you look at all of those guys at the top there, and it's like Jordan, LeBron.
Wilt has Magic. 2 titles. That's it, right? He got one with. Yeah. So unless you're Wilt, right? Like unless you're Wilt freaking Chamberlain and your stats are just absolutely insane, you have to get 5 titles, right? Like to be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's hard to tell at this point. But because if you're not, then all of a sudden you're in that next tier of like, guys that were super good but didn't get all the titles.
But he's on the path already that he's going to be up there in all these crazy numbers. Like he's going to pass, Westbrook's, triple double thing. He's going to be up there in points when it's all said and done. He's going to have all of that. It's just all of it hinges on titles, and it's so hard to predict titles.
Of course.
Yeah. And health for sure. And it's hard to predict that. And if they went, let's just say they went and got Giannis this offseason, and you're like, or like he was going to be, like whatever. And it worked out and he got Giannis, and you're like, oh, okay. Now I'd be much more common. Like, yeah. I think he could finish top 5 for sure. But passing one of those 5 is going to be hard without 4 or 5 titles.
What does he have to do to pass Durant? Because Durant's going to be like top 10, right? Like, or he's going to be up there.
Well, I mean, if he continues down this path on everything, and let's say he wins like 3 titles, I think he'll be on that same type of level. The thing that helps Luka too is, all of his, previous experience in Europe of he can walk in, and if he has this like crazy career in the NBA and wins 4 or 5 titles, and he has all the European, accolades too, it's like, whoa, okay. Like that's a whole different, ball game. Because I know we don't talk about it a ton, but when you talk about like Kareem and some of these guys, it's like, man, look at like some of their stuff in college. And that's fun to at least take into account a little bit of their career. And Europe playing into Luka's, it will be
wild. True. If you do it basketball Hall of Fame style, right? Instead of just NBA. Interesting. So is Luka's gonna be top 5 all time? Man, I'm gonna say D. Just the odds are so against it, right? Like I don't think so. The odds are much against it because you have to get the amount of titles, he has to stay healthy, all that kind of stuff.
Since Jordan, who has cracked that even conversation?
LeBron.
Just LeBron. And it's like
Kobe has been in the conversation.
Kobe kind of. Tim Duncan.
He's been in it. He's been in the conversation.
He's been in it, but he's not top.
You do this thing where you don't think that somebody is there, so you're like, they're not in the conversation. They are.
I just don't think
Kobe and Duncan have both been in there.
I just don't think like how I feel about LeBron. I just think LeBron's at a different level than Kobe and Duncan.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think they're top 10, but so I think it's better. Like I'm comfortable saying I think Luka will finish as a top 20 player of all time. Top
which
5
is insane.
Which is absolutely insane.
Because we haven't even mentioned Magic or Bird, or,
I think
Hakeem or like
top 5 is like you have to. It's like what we said. I mean, since Jordan, who is in that? I mean, 3 players in the past 20 years. So Luka definitely could be that guy. So
he's on his way. The odds are stacked against him though, but
he's on his way for sure.
Dude's 22. Like how many of those guys in the top 20 were 22 when they entered the NBA, right? Like.
And it's so hard to predict it without seeing like he's not on a team right now surrounded by a couple young stars that you're like, that's the core that's going to be around them for the next years.
Is he not? Did we talk about that in the first segment? I think we did.
Josh Green.